Hi, Tom Coley, coach for Buckeye Cable and BCSN, and really this is really an important interview for me. I feel so good about it to bring in a great friend, Mr. Todd Crandell. Welcome, Todd. Racing for Recovery. Todd, tell the folks, I can't imagine somebody in our community not knowing about Racing for Recovery, but there probably are some people that don't know. You've done so much positive work and made a difference in so many thousands of lives. But tell the folks that don't know, you're the CEO of Racing for Recovery. Tell the folks what it is.
I started Racing for Recovery in 2001 after surviving my own 13-year drug and alcohol addiction. This is a nonprofit that prevents substance abuse in kids and shows current substance abusers, their families, and society that recovery is possible.
Yeah, and you were a great athlete. You were a heck of a hockey player. You had so many positives, going in that regard, and kind of the guy who has everything in a sense. And I think it's important to let folks know that everybody battles with things.
Yep.
Whether it's self-esteem, whether it's family problems, whether it's school problems. People have a tendency to look at somebody and say, well, gee, they've got it made. Nobody has it made. Everybody deals with certain things. Is that, in your opinion, Todd, what happens to people that maybe they don't deal well with, as you call them, the demons sometimes? Is that part of it?
You mentioned self-esteem,
yes.
And to me, that is the cornerstone of why people end up choosing drugs and alcohol, the lack thereof.
Because they don't feel good about themselves in some fashion?
Absolutely. On the outside, you mentioned, yes, I was athletic. Yeah. I had everything.
You're the guy that had everything, yeah.
But on the inside, I had nothing.
Yeah. And why did that veneer? What was missing for you? Because obviously you've identified it, and you've replaced what was missing. And I think part of what you replaced it with is your work. To me, there's nothing more gratifying than helping other people, and I know you have the same feeling. And then also you're running, you're a world-renowned runner, an accomplished runner. Were those things that you filled up what was missing in you? Is that part of it?
I had to heal from what the hole was initially.
Okay. And how do you do that? How do you recognize that? How do you do it?
Well, my real mom committed suicide from drugs and alcohol when I was 3, so that was the catalyst of me not feeling right.
Okay.
Hockey filled that void for a while, and then I tried to fill it with drugs and obviously failed at that. So coming into my sobriety, it has been a constant a constant lifestyle for over 21 years of improving myself physically, spiritually, intellectually, and emotionally. And that's what's enabled me to sustain my sobriety.
Todd, you're such a role model and a hero for so many of us in the community because you have overcome things that people have really struggled with. I don't know what the percentage rate is of recovery in programs, but I've heard 20% thrown out. It's difficult to do. You've done it. You've beaten the odds. In your opinion, as the professional that you are in this field, what is the key to someone recovering? Because there are a lot of different formulas out there where people say, if you do this, if you do this, if you do that. What do you think the key is?
Well, first of all, 100% of people can beat this. It's not some of us can and some of us don't. Everybody can. You have to just find something that works for you. I don't tell people, well, you have to run Ironmans the way I did.
Right.
I offer a plethora of things for people to do and let them start to build their own program of recovery, because whatever's working for them may not necessarily be something that I do or somebody else does, but if it's working for them, let's let it be.
Yeah, it's funny. You would appreciate this. I had the opportunity to interview Alice Cooper for like a half an hour, and it was one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life, one of the most professional. You may have met him. You know a lot of the rock stars. And that's kind of what he said. He was a former athlete in high school. He was a cross-country runner. He was very good. He was head of the newspaper. He was student council president, just like you. He was kind of like everything, And he got his identity kind of mixed up in this rock thing. Is he the character? Is he the person that's portrayed on the stage? That's not really who he is. And he got it all mixed up. And then he turns to alcohol, and he went to golf. And kind of like you did with the Ironman. And golf was really what saved him. It gave him a reason to get up and go to the course, and that became his obsession, and it filled the holes of the other things.
I met Alice this past summer. He's on tour with Motley Crue, and we had a conversation about sobriety.
Yes.
It had nothing to do with music. We talked about sobriety, and he
Right.
mentioned golf and asked me about Ironmans, and that's his thing. I don't golf, but if it's working for him and it has for 30 years, great. You know, some people use church, some people use the traditional 12-step meetings, some people use Racing for Recovery. It's all good no matter what's working for that person.
Yeah, and you've always said that, and I always admire that, because sometimes when they tell people it can only be done this way, and I think it kind of limits the potential for people to recover, because there's a wide range of things that would fit for people. And I've always admired, you've said, hey, this has worked for me, it might work for you, but there are other possibilities. Tell the folks, I know your DVDs, I know your books, give the folks a smattering of what's out there if people are struggling with this issue.
Well, first of all, we have our 13th annual 10K, 5K coming up October 26th. Our new movie, Running with Demons, just got released on Netflix yesterday.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. We have 2 books. We have support group meetings. I counsel people. I do assessments. We are here to help. So check out racingforrecovery.org.
All right, Todd, people watch this on our network, and whether it's a parent or whether it's a youngster or an adult, and they want help, how do they get a hold of you?
Go to racingforrecovery.org and call us.
Okay.
We're here with a plethora of support group meetings. Again, counseling. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of people who have been impacted by Racing for Recovery, and lives are spared, families heal, things get better.
Todd, you are a real hero in our community. You are a difference maker. You're someone that all of us look up to, and we appreciate so much what you've done for our young people and what you're doing in our community. Thank you
sir.
so much for being here. We
Thanks.
appreciate it. Tom Coley, coach for Buckeye Cable and BCSN.